event. So I request our founder of the event organizers and our chief guest, Mr. Sriram Vidula and Murli Kalagaru, please come on to the dais so that we can start with the lighting of the lamp. I request everyone to give a big round of applause.
And how is this contribution going to transform? So, we are here to discuss and deep dive into understanding how people can make a difference working along with AI. So, it requires a good balance between using the AI systems and giving a human edge in the workplaces. So, aptly, we have our expert speakers who will give us their expert advice, and we can have a comprehensive solution where we can find the right balance between working with AI and creating a human edge with empathy, innovation, and creativity. So I take pleasure in introducing our panelists today. Introducing our first speaker, Mr. Sam Noel. He is Associate Director, Tension India Private Limited. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Sam Noel is turnaround specialist with 20 years less of experience in techno-functional exposure in managing talent acquisition, global diversities, deliveries, strategic accounts, program and project lifecycle management. He has proven success in streamlining operations and integrating businesses while increasing productivity and exceeding profitability benchmarks with 360-degree knowledge of technology domains. He is a global talent acquisition leader with a demonstrated history of working in the technology. Skill in executive search, technical recruiting, sourcing, and team management. Sam Noel is here to give us more deep insights into our topic today. Thank you for being here, Mr. Sam. Now, I take pleasure in introducing our next panel speaker. This is Madhavi Gundavadyala. She is Director of Program Management from Vast Technosoft. Madhavi is a versatile women leader with 18 plus years of experience managing businesses and multiple projects in the global market. In her career, she has handled program management, account management, delivery management, project planning, execution, risk management, stakeholder management, and resource management. She has won several accolades and awards during this tenure, and the popular ones being she's been awarded Best Women Leadership Award by Icon Foundation in 2024 and awarded Most Influential Women Leader of the Year in the year 2024. A big round of applause and thanks for being here, Madhavi. Then our third speaker today is Mr. He has a rich consulting experience as subject matter expert in SAP logistics and projects controlling. He has varied experience in different industry verticals like pharmaceuticals, chemicals, automotive, telecom, power, and mineral processing. More than 15 years of extensive experience in people and brand management. Years of experience in global service ownership. Prakash has led digital transformation into S4HANA. Which has to be used with SAP. Here introducing AI, that is what I just apparently got the update from him. And he's also been among the first few who took advantage of ML offering in SAP. One of the first IoT projects in SAP's S4HANA was led by Prakash. That's great, Mr. Prakash. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So we had rich experts into the spanning thing. So let me begin with talent acquisition manager, because more and more what we require is talent play. So gone are the days when we had personal management and analytics and we talk about talent acquisition. So sir, the name itself says that we require new kind, or we need to create a new kind of workplace culture where employees embrace AI as it, right, and work with it. So how do you feel? Do they require collaboration, or and is required? If so,
yeah, organizations should communicate clearly and set a vision on AI initiatives, its role and benefits, right? So they should train and equip the employees with AI knowledge and skills, right? And then emphasize collaboration, how AI augments with the human capabilities, right? And then ethical use of AI. So ensure responsible and ethical use of AI for the organization. And then we also have another point where they seek inputs from the employees, right? So when they're taking initiatives and they seek inputs and the feedback from the employees, right? And then finally, set an example. Leadership set an example, demonstrating how AI is used across all levels. I hope this answers my question.
So, as you said, AI is used in taking the people, training them, and onboarding them, these kind of activities. Apart from it, so just tell me, what kind of human skills are required if you are, using the AI and working with systems? What kind of human skills are required to use AI?
Typically in hiring, so rather than candidate screening and shortlisting CVs, right? So kind of human touch is required to ensure better candidate experience by taking the candidates. So candidates expect a trusted human partner to join an organization, right? So usually AI has empathy and understanding. So human touch is always required to.
That is more than anything, though we are using AI, human touch is something that will be missing. So that is where people come to this. Yeah. Thank you, sir. So, ma'am, more on, we're talking about people and how we're using AI in this people management. And you are a program manager. So, can you please explain your role in communicating and leading as program manager, where people are using AI for their program management?
Definitely, madam. Generally, in program management, what is more important is communication, collaboration with stakeholders, and also exhibiting the leadership skills. So, what I am usually involved in the project initiation and the planning phases as of now. So, when we, when we're initiating a project, there is a lot of discussion which happens with the client. Right, so the right kind of communication tools, the mode of communication, definitely a human touch is needed. Though there's a lot of analysis which is done behind the stream, the predictive analytics. If we had done similar projects earlier, then we use the lessons learned to understand how we can execute this particular project. But at the end of it, definitely the human analysis, it plays a major role than the tool analysis.
Like we say, basically a system is an ego, right? What we give and that is what we get. So what we give is again dependent on the people. So what kind of a task we are giving it and what is the output we are getting. So it is only a facilitator where it is helping us expedite the things and give certain answers, something like that.
Absolutely, I agree with you. The right kind of input only will give the right kind of output. So definitely while giving the input and analyzing the output, the human touch is certainly needed. So this is where the communication, the leadership skills are essential in project management.
All right. So Mr. Sam, continuation with what ma'am was telling and what we were discussing. So, the change in scenario basically requires a new kind of training to be provided to the employees before they actually start working with the AI. Right? So AI is not a replacement, rather it is something where it is helping us do our work smarter. Right? So what kind of specific skills are required to be given?
See, it's the most on the behavioral aspect, the emotional intelligence, right? So people can be trained on emotional intelligence by putting them workshops, right, to enhance the emotions, right, and the behaviors, right. So which will definitely enhance the skills, right. And then critical thinking is another aspect where employees can understand the patterns given the AI, but they can break down that into complex analysis and then take informed decisions.
So, where people have to be given is analytical skills and critical thinking and evaluation is something that, me being an academician, this is what we keep telling that the creativity in the people is required, the talent is required, basically that is what makes the talent acquisition analysis over here, right sir, rightly said. Prakash Garu, this is for you. As AI continues to evolve and it has its wings spreading to every department or every function of doing business. Can you please highlight on how organizations foster collaboration between human teams and AI systems, right? To drive the innovation basically. Why? Because just now as we were discussing, we said we need to use AI in creating innovative systems. So how can we collaborate doing this?
To start with, we should all first believe that machines are intelligent.
and we are enabling them. So the enablers should also be doing it right ethically. So I'll give you a couple of examples. First example is in Michigan State. They have used the old historical data and made these speed guns across the highway. The traffic police has implemented this project, and eventually the data model worked in such a way that it was only catching blacks. So it is also behaving exactly how humans are behaving. So it has just a very what data you give, it's the same average how you have it. So that's one problem. Another problem in training now, bringing the right ethical teams. AI already has set into our work. It's already 25%. It is started taking our work. And we are still unknown about it, but it is happening. Certainly it is happening. And I have myself seen how these models are refining themselves. While it's taking 20%, probably it might take 80% at a time, but we will still have the right. Unless we cope up with what is happening, we will not be able to control it, over a period of time. So the knowledge to acquire what it can do is very important. So I come from that perspective, and myself, my company, my teams, we focus mainly on that part.
And evolution as well, it's evolving of people in using smart technology smart way. That's really good. But in the process of using technology in a smart way, we also come across that people might be misusing it or abusing it. Right? We come across all sorts of things. So, ma'am, here in an AI-powered workplace, can you just highlight on how can we ensure that these human-centered values remain? Right? And as a program manager, when you're working with your team, keeping an eye on everybody all the time is not practically possible. So, what remains priority? How do you actually, especially in customer service, program execution, leading your team and all that? Can you please highlight?
There are several project management tools which actually invite the AI also in it. For example, the Jira. Okay, and even during the meetings, we do have a lot of AI tools which actually transcribe the entire meeting, summarize, and then give it to us. It makes the life easy, there is no doubt. It even gives the actual items what next meeting should have. But at the end of it, we must understand what is the objective of the meeting. And that is something which the tool cannot generate. When we are sitting in a meeting, we should understand why we are there, what we want to communicate, what exactly we want to articulate, and what is the outcome of the meeting. Whatever we speak, the tool will just take it as an input. So again, I'm coming back to the same point. Input is very important for the right output.
That's right. Right, so Sam, sir, can I ask you, as AI is taking over the routine tasks, right? How can the leaders help employees develop skills? Like you were telling, empathy is important, creativity is important, critical thinking is important.
You just need to build the trust. Okay, so honest and transparent communication builds the trust between leaders and employees, right? So that elevates the fear and anxiety of the insecurity of the employees. AI taking over their jobs, right? Set the expectations, right? So set the expectations about AI's capabilities, AI's abilities, and how it impacts the roles and responsibilities of a particular employee, right? And it also helps elevate anxiety and uncertainty, highlight the AI benefits, like how.
You have specific training programs where you are actually instilling or imparting these characters.
We do have training programs, especially in terms of hiring. So we automate our application tracking systems with the AI-enabled platforms, right? So we train recruiters how to use AI effectively, right? So
you also need use of AI training.
Some organizations are there, some organizations are not there. So most of the organizations that have implemented AI-enabled AI-run platform on ATS, right? So that will help recruiters to replace the routine tasks of screening and shortlisting, and then candidate assessments, right? So this kind of communications or leaders builds the positive outcome to the employees.
I have just heard somewhere that organizations use employee-specific dashboards where they have their training modules and the track of their performance happening, and based on that, some suggestions on what kind of trainings to be taken, and creating some online modules where they are training on all this.
Yeah, skill assessments. So they collaborate skill assessments. They understand the skill gaps and then ensure employees are given constructive feedback and then work on the improvements.
Next. Right, sir. Okay, when you impart your training and you give this kind of things to employees, do you have tracking mechanism where you can build up post-training things?
I would like to add at this point. See, when there's a training given, there's training effectiveness also which is captured. How much the employee has grasped and how well he's exhibiting in his work. So the training effectiveness definitely, when you learn something, you have to do. Otherwise, it becomes just a cost factor. So when we see that the employee has become more productive, okay, there is no repetitive task or he's not wasting his time, that means the employee productivity has increased automatically. So that usually there are quarter-on-quarter feedbacks which the employees they get. So when the improvement is seen by his reporting manager, that means the training has been successful.
Only training and these kind of activities, and the program managers are into actually looking into how well that has gone into the work of the employees and things like that.
It is the RM actually who decides, whether the training has been effective or not, because he actually, day to day he knows what his reporting employees doing. So he would understand, pass on this information to L&D and finally to the performance increases.
Right, and this calls for asking me this question, like, when the training is given by, these people, and it's actually, the training is required, the work where they're doing, right? So there is a clear communication required on what aspect the training has to be given, right? And then, delivering the training deliverables, right? So there, you all work in cohesion, where, so just tell me the role of how well the program manager has to communicate and upstream with the talent managers, downstream with the employees. Right?
I'll give you an example. The project where I was working, it was Java based, but then there were new projects coming up based on Python. Okay, so we actually, all the candidates who are interested in learning Python, we asked them to nominate themselves because we know there's a new project coming up. And there were also a few names which were suggested by the client because they felt they are good at their work and they can move to that particular project. So quickly we upskill them. We have the Python sessions for them and then we upskill them. Sometimes they're technically very strong, but then their soft skills are not very good. Maybe they can't communicate to the client side project managers, they're not very good at it. Then we give them soft skill trainings also, maybe the communication or the interpersonal skills.
So it's cross-skilling and upskilling usually uplift employees for career growth. Right.
So those areas satisfied. Okay, so right. Prakash, you being an SAP consultant and specializing into this area. Now, I just want to ask on specific to that. Can you just elaborate on how can SAP systems be optimized, right, to enable better collaboration between human teams and AI teams? Okay, SAP systems, on what kind of specific features or modules are actually taken up in collaborating these teams?
SAP, is again one of the big companies, software companies in the world, maybe in the top 5. They always keep abreast with what's happening in the IT industry. So they were luckily about 10 years ago introduced a platform called S4HANA. So this is like they converted their old SAP system into S4HANA, which runs on in-memory computing. Basically, the database is no more sitting on a magnetic tape. It directly sits in the RAM itself. So by doing this has gone about 1800 times faster. So there's a more computing power. So this helped in adopting AI much faster. This made SAP actually go a little ahead compared to their competitors. Reason simply being the database or the data that's held is in a very robust platform. So the algorithms work on that platform, made the data availability much faster.
So this also poses another question. Because you said if you need to use AI tools, then you require some kind of technology upgradation where you can actually start using it. So that might be the case in every field in the firm. So using AI and providing the work. So do you also have to make use of certain tools which actually enable use of AI?
I will just take it. NVIDIA is one of the reasons why it has crossed Indian, GDP. Indian GDP is about 4 trillion. NVIDIA itself is 3.5, 3.6 trillion. The answer for your question is only this: because they have a huge computing capability. Their chips are now designed with so much of computing capability that it has gone up. It has become a priced company.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. See, while designing the AI tools, first we keep the objective in mind. Whether the tool is in sync with the objective, whether it can perform the way we want. An analysis is certainly done at a leadership level. If we feel the tool is suitable and it is going to give us the right kind of output, then we use the tool. Because there are several AI tools available in every domain. It could be TA, it could be in project, it could be everywhere. So there are several tools which are available. We have to figure out which one is most suitable for us. Even project management tools, there are several tools available. Some may use Jira, some may use Microsoft Project. It depends upon the nature of the project they're working on.
That's good. Any questions from the audience?
Organizers, can somebody help the audience with the mic, please?
Insightful conversation. I am Divakar Singh with Avishkar. AI is a good slave but a bad master. Now, the human edge, how long it can sustain as the accuracy levels of AI is improving, the kind of a computing power, the outputs are day by day enhancing, how long human can compete?
I'll take this question. So the first time computers were introduced, I think the entire banking system was shaken up. They felt they were going to lose their jobs. But that did not happen. All that happened is that they upgraded their skills and they started using computers. And I think this happened in every sector. I'll give you an example in the healthcare sector also. AI can help in doing some kind of predictive analytics. The final call will be taken by the doctor. AI cannot diagnose and give treatment. And I'm sure this is going to be the scenario in every sector. AI cannot have a dominance over human intelligence.
I told you guys while talking a while ago, 20% humans will have to hold it. And I totally, go with man. But one more very important thing here is tools are not ethical. Tools are, they just do what you want them to do. So the ethical part of it is going to be really a very highly priced human edge. You're going to see that, we will have ethical certificates being given by top universities, and then these guys are very highly priced to do the LLMs and foundation projects as we go forward.
I hope you have answered your questions. Thank you.
I think the answer for her question is, everyone must have watched Robo 2 movie, right? So what happened in Robo movie 2? So when the Robo was fitted with good intelligence, it made all good things. But when one wrong chip was invented and it was emerged into Robo, and it was a disaster. So it doesn't have any human intelligence or emotional intelligence to realize the things.
Nice example. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nowadays, like empathic AI also is built into the voice agents, so they can analyze these things as well. So a lot of times we say empathy is not there with AI. So how to cope up with them? Like I feel a lot of jobs we can lose there.
I'll take this question or somebody else.
But human emotional intelligence plays a major role in creating relationships and then conflicts resolving, and then even be critical on navigating complex social causes. Right? So recently in our organization we had a chatbot talk to us. Right? So people are saying that AI has empathy, but when certain questions were asked back, it just disconnect the call. So I don't think it's still there. So I think I have a few things there.
But it depends on what kind of a training they can analyze all the data. So a lot of things like they can analyze the application, a lot of things they are doing. So just wanted to take a little more on that.
I understand that AI, like based on our emotions, whatever we are going through, we can pose questions to chatbots. But chatbots are, already predefined algorithms. They have predefined algorithms. If you have observed in certain chats, if they don't get the right kind of input, they can keep asking the repetitive question, because that is not what the chatbot is expecting from us. It will capture intelligently if it is going in the same pattern the way the chatbot was. But if you twist the question or you change the sequence of it, repetitively it will keep asking the same question because it's not getting the right input. So finally it has to be directed to a human who is going to answer these questions.
Prompt engineers coming into picture, and there's a growing demand for prompt engineers and content builders, right? So what basically AI does is algorithmic intelligence that it has. So based on the way we're posing the question, it gives us the output. So that is where the prompting becomes important. Giving the right keywords becomes important. Otherwise, there can be a conflict between what kind of question we are making and what is the answer we're getting. This is also is happening. If you are unable to give it right question, right? If you're not able to promptly ask it what you require, then it goes into a kind of a jigsaw. Our says that it is confusing, put it better, something like that. We've also seen these things happening.
I like it.
And also just wanted to check like what kind of ethics companies are following nowadays. So for using AI, so do you have any ethics companies?
At least in the business community, I can, it goes back on a lot of historical data for its performance, right? So the large language models are also created in such a way. It could be video, audio, LLM contains, all formats of data. This is quite rightly analyzed right now, and there is still a lot of scope of improvement, but still, it is already there in terms of ethical and empathetical, involvement having. And these are again, consultants that are going to be very highly priced tomorrow. The computer engineers right now only see them as very priced. We'll see tomorrow as ethical computers, ethical certified computer science engineers. So we'll see that happen.
Thank you, Fandas.
The environment is not at all affecting due to AI. I have seen it affecting already 20-25% in our jobs. I'll give you one example. There's something called an account reconciliation of GR and IR in SAP. So SAP already introduced quite a few areas of AI and ML. This is one such example. So what it does is every month you have to do a period closing, and this account has to be closed by people who are working 7-8 days of work will go into this for 3-4 accountants in almost first account. So it has to come to zero to go to the next period. To reconcile it, it's now made AI. I mean, an intelligence has brought into that it clears off whatever decision, if you have forwarded it to someone else or you have taken a call for next invoice adjustments, all that is now taking quite certain. So 7 to 8 days of work is gone, so 3 days already there. So it is definitely going to. But these gentlemen who were earlier doing the reconciliation, they have the authority to control that account, whether the AI is performing rightly or not. And they will see that. They will still come out with a lot of cases that this is not working fine or this is working fine and it has to be fixed in so and so way.
So the numbers are reduced, right? The required request for that. Well, so similarly, if you see the customer care services, or if not today, tomorrow, like the drivers, well, if you see where is whatever we are talking about, someone else has to take care of. If you see a vehicle which is going on its own, just by using the coding. So it's coming to the place where we are standing, picking me up and then going. That is not yet in India, but it's happening, right?
In India, it was very difficult. It is very big to have to try madam that there was just emerging technologies. Dr. Ramadevi, when I was talking to her, she was telling that someone came and gave her a presentation on how to run the traffic on AI, and she asked, "Can we go it off this side?" Then there is if someone who follows the proper logic, it doesn't work. It has to take care of all models. So they went back thinking, saying that okay, we will include opposite side as well.
Maybe due to the population strength that we have, and also maybe we are not that disciplined in the traffic and all, they are not able to implement here. But otherwise, what I heard here in the other media or wherever, down the line 10 years, we are saying we are going to be a global third country. So naturally, automatically, we will be having some disciplines again coming up. So there, when people are knowledge or they become knowledgeable, then do you think that we'll be taking over AI, will be taking over many of the posts? Like maybe say even that there won't be a driver required.
And I'll tell you, it happened earlier also when in these first class computers, first class software products when they came, they were implemented there, but they were implemented by Indians. And the adoption of that to India happened also eventually. So we will definitely go there, reduce the chaos as we go forward, and more population learn things more, and then we will adjust. We never thought that a billion people will be using mobile phones in India earlier, but we are using. So it has to change that.
Adding to what Sir has said, AI maybe in the coming decade is going to take on with a repetitive task. There could be automation that is going to happen. It's the same human who's working for 3 days, maybe the AI can do it in half a day. Those kind of tasks maybe can be taken over by AI. But when it comes to analysis, again the human touch will be there. Definitely the human touch will be there. And the traffic example that you have taken, let AI come up with some kind of a module where people drive in Charminar or Padechori and we have some freedom that day.
One last question I would like to ask is, do you think there is some solution? Because in India, what we see is a job, say, means not having jobs. So you have so many engineers having out every year, every politician talks, every analyst talks, but there is really not a solution for that. We have come up with this deal of saying that everybody can, maximum whoever is interested can become an entrepreneur. At the same time, Modi says we are ready to give loans, Udyam, etc., MSMEs, etc., etc. But still, we still find people, unemployed and disheartened and even some, suicidal happening. So, do you really think that AI can bring something good for these people and create more jobs or opportunities?
If we become a global AI powerhouse, like IT industry has become for global, support function, right? Similarly, if you become an AI powerhouse for global supply, I'm very sure India will gain more in AI than lose.
At the field level, what is required basically is people should understand that AI is here to stay and we need to embrace it. And when we are embracing it, we have to equip ourselves how to use it. So for that, we have to increase, there is a requirement for self-based knowledge acquisition basically, and there are a number of tools available. As of now itself, there are a number of tools available wherein the students or the young generation can upskill themselves or seek knowledge. Like you have government portals where they are providing these kind of courses. Most of the youth in India, what happens is they do not come out proactively to equip themselves with all these things. Unless some kind of an incentive is given, which is also too very strong, where it is cutting across their all other requirements, only then the youth is coming forward to actually skill themselves. That is where the problem is lying. So what I feel is there should be more collaboration between industry and academics and the training. Basically we are talking about how can employees in an organization be given the training, but once they are into employment, they will definitely take up the training and they have a mindset that they have to work, so they will take up the training. But the problem is in the institutions, in the higher education institutions, and the students do not have the right mindset of what kind of a training to be taken. So there, I believe a lot of attitude building has to happen. We have a lot of potential, but the potential is not being tapped properly. The number of tools available, but the knowledge of the tools and the importance or the benefit that they will get from using the tools has not been properly given. So a lot of training has to happen in these areas, and I think the corporate should come forward and take out as CSR initiatives in training and in training the students about the industry requirements. There's a huge gap between industry requirement and the knowledge that is taken in the institution level. So if that is rightly patched up and the gap is removed, if we can definitely harness, all the benefits of AI as well as, the requirement of the knowledge workers. More and more knowledge workers are required. Mediocre performers or, mediocrity will not work in the future times, future times. So that is the basic requirement, and if that is resolved, a lot of things will fall in line.
To be precise, adaptability and learning agility. Someone needs to come out of comfort zone and learn new economics.
I can add one opportunity which all this turmoil is that artificial intelligence linked up with IoT to the robotics can transform entire manufacturing landscape. If we take the lead start there in AI, already we are in, and we can get into some kind of a market share of China, because all the manufacturing practices are going to be disrupted, and there the manpower requirements and employability high. There is one ray of hope. Other kind of jobs, probably I think telecallers, I don't know how to name, many things, the kind of AI calling, I have seen, it is calling and scheduling for Tesla car appointment so perfectly. I think human can compete as of now. So this is going to be further more accurate in the future. So the hope is in manufacturing, if you are moving from AI, IoT and robotics. This is a few inputs for defense as well. Defense. Thank you.
As he was telling, the automation is on fast pace, and we also have certain government schemes where they are giving a lot of boost down to the rural areas also. In this direction, government has taken up tie-ups with IITs and IIMs in providing extension programs, going to the rural areas, identifying the talent over there, and coming up with something called as smart hackathons and various other things. So these are certain initiatives that have already been taken, and these have to be promoted more and more. And if that is done, as we were discussing, AIs are here to stay, and they will be there. So it is for us to understand how to make use of AI, and if we know the right use of it, and and for that particular kind of a culture has to be built basically. So on part of the organization, what is required is how organizations are taking up building the culture of trust, creativity, and innovation. Putting ahead the human values more importantly, because AI is like a sharp-edged sword, which can be a boon or a pain. So, what we need to harness is a culture of using it rightly, and then we have a long way to go, and surely we will be successful and become multi-superpowers. We're already in the making, and with these kind of initiatives that have been taken, and brainstorming sessions that are happening with our panelists or with the audience over there. The audience was also enriching. Thank you so much for your participation. I also thank our panelists here today who are here and who have given their expert advice on the topic of human edge in AI-powered workplace. Thank you so much. Thank you, each of you.
Please give them a big round of